Hello everyone, it's Lady J again here with yet another video. This one we're going to be speaking of being single. There was a video that I was looking at, someone else had made a video, and it really made me want to encourage women, especially my Negro women, myself. I wanted to encourage us because when I was looking at this video, it just made me realize how crazy it is out there, and we're here for so much more than that. So my main question is, are you productive in your singleness? Not if you are single, but are you productive in your singleness? Okay, so before we get started, all of the information, like, subscribe, share. It's going to be something interesting, so just go ahead and push those little buttons and everything, get the algorithm going, what have you. Listen, I saw a video one time, and so this lady was speaking of the fact that she, her boyfriend had gave her a disease. And I'm just going to make it short. All the details is not really all that important. You kind of know what took place there. She was speaking about the fact that her boyfriend had gave her a disease. They had been together for 2 years. She was sick. And, I guess they eventually broke up. She found out he had given it to a couple of other women, what have you. The thing that really caught my attention is towards the end of the video, she started to mention about that she was in another relationship and she had, she had a new boyfriend and blah, blah, blah. So at that moment, I kind of stopped for a minute. I really didn't care about it. What was that all about? And I thought to myself, first of all, you were with a dude that gave you a disease, and so this means you have this situation, you have HIV. It would seem to me that you would take yourself off the market at this point. Your carnality days would probably be over with as far as that's concerned. That would be my first thought, because if you have it, that means you're out there passing around to other people as well. But I thought to myself, okay, so if you have a new boyfriend, did you tell him that you have it? And if you did, you mean to tell me he was willing to take the chance that he may catch it as well? So now you have at least 3, 4, 5 other people just within this little group right here that's out there in circulation, in rotation, passing this thing around. I don't know if the new boyfriend have it or not, but did you even tell him that you may have it and that you do have it, and give him the opportunity to say, no, lady, I have to move on? But if he did stay with you, you mean to tell me this is somebody who willing to take a chance on getting this disease and breaking up with you at some point and going around passing it to other people? And it just kind of, at that moment, it just kind of hit me of how contaminated things are out there in this world, and people are just still out there in rotation, getting hurt, getting killed, getting diseases, in and out of relationship, getting emotionally damaged. I mean, it's just polluted out there at this point. And so I just really wanted to say thank you and encourage those women who have taken themselves off the market, who have chosen to come up out of circulation and do something other than just being out there fishing for whatever it is you're fishing for and not knowing what you're getting. So I just want to say thank you for women who have chosen to focus on their self-care and their purposes, which brings me to the productive being single. This is where this comes in. I was thinking about the fact that, especially from Negro women, I don't really like to say African American or Black, but from Negro women, there's a lot of single. Everyone knows this. There's a lot of single African American women. I said I wasn't going to say that, but I did. It slipped out. There's a lot of women that are single. And it's not only because you want to be single or you have to be single. There are situations with men, with African American men, that cause you to be single. I have at least 7 right off the top of my head. A lot of them are on drugs. They start at early ages, so a lot of times they'll live in a state of arrested development, so they're not even capable of being in a healthy relationship. So that knocks off a lot of them. You have a lot that's still incarcerated. They're still filling up the jails, so they're off the market as well. You have a lot of them that are dying due to violence, and not only violence that other people are doing to them, but violence they're doing to themselves. That knock off a whole lot of, because if they're dead, they're not coming back. So you also have those that fear marriage and fear responsibility. Knock off that group. You also have a lot of men now, black men that are feminized, and they're man child. They're not fully developed, and they're too emotional. They're not masculine. They do not have the capability or the capacity to be a leader, over family unit. You also have men out here at this point really that are violent. I mean, that are killing women, that are doing all type of things to women, that have a deep rooted hatred, because the Bible said in the last days that men would be lovers, despisers of good. So if you walk into a man and you offer him your goodness and your love and your kindness and blah 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 blah, he's looking at that as something that needs to be destroyed, or no one else is going to have this after me, what have you. But you have a lot more violent men, and then you also have men who do not speak up against this. So they are condoning it, and they feel like the more they condone it, it's like, okay, well, no one is saying anything, we might as well just knock off as many as we can. So you also have violent men out there. But the last one, you also have carnal men. You have men that just do not fear God, that's not even aware of God, can care less about good or what have you. So with these factors, you're going to have way more women that are single, Negro women that are single, than there's actually in a relationship. So for those who have chosen to be single, as opposed and have taken themselves out of rotation, I commend you for that. And those also who have gone to other nationalities of men, have found love, happiness, peace, contentment, yay for you too, as well. But for those who have chosen to be single, I wanted to mention, what are you doing in your singleness? We understand about your healing and your traveling and doing other things as well. But are you being productive as far as the kingdom goes? Because here's the thing I wanted to make the point I wanted to make. When God spoke of in the beginning, when he mentioned about, he created women, as a helpmeet to men. It's not good for man to be alone. I've created woman to be a helpmeet. This is in the book of Genesis. Understand one thing. He created you with the ability to help. He created you with something extra special. That didn't kick in. He didn't say that was going to kick in when you get in a relationship. He said that that's what he's created you to do, be a help. So if you're single, in what ways are you using that help? It's not just for you to find a man and give it to him. It's for you also to feed society as well with that help that God has given us. So are you being productive in that area? Are you, opening up maybe businesses and doing something with the finances to help other people? Are you feeding the homeless? Do you have gifts and talents that you're using? I wanted to bring forth also some of the women in the Bible that are single. Here's the thing that I want to really mention, because there are so many women in the Bible that were single. I really didn't pick up on that before. I have maybe about 10. I'm not going to do all of them, but I have about 10 women that were actually single in the Bible. And my thing of it is, it couldn't possibly be a bad thing, because it's mentioned in the Bible too many times, but it always showed women that were doing things. I'm sure there was other women that were single or that were not doing anything, what have you, but these are the ones that I want to mention to show you it is okay to be single. Because here's the thing you need to understand. When you go before God, he's not going to ask you, where was your husband? Did you get married? That's a societal thing. That's a this world thing. If you get married, that's fine. If you find that man, that's fine. But if you don't, that's fine as well. Because God is going to ask you, what did you do with your time here? Who did you help? Did you help the homeless? Did you feed people that were needy? Did you clothe people that were needy? What did you do with your time here? That's going to be more important. Women need to understand that. Society will have you out here chasing men and feeling like you're less than because you don't have one or whatever. Don't think that God didn't know that the situation we're in at this last minute with all these African American women that are single. Don't think God didn't know that that was going to come to pass. As a matter of fact, if you ask me, I think that's probably why we have a little extra strength. I think we do have a little bit more testosterone. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of like it. I like being strong. I like being able to stand up on my own 2 feet. I like being able to take care of situations and not fall apart. And I think that could be another reason why he's given us a little extra, so we can function in this world. But like I said, when you go before him, he's not going to be asking you, did you get married? Oh my God, no, you didn't. No, that's society where keeping you out there, where you need to have a man and blah, blah, blah. Now, if we can, like I said, if we can all find one, yay. We already know that's not going to be the situation, though. But in the meantime, understand that is not the priority. That is not the most important thing. That's what the world tells you to keep you out there, passing yourself around. That's what that's about. If you find one and you're married, yes, I'm not knocking it at all, because that's God's order. Family, the family unit is the foundation of society. So no, I'm not knocking that at all. I'm hoping we all come up with that. But if not, understand you are still just as valuable. When you came to this planet, you came with a purpose. Things that he wanted you to do on your own, whether there's a ring on your finger or not. There are things that you or planting some seeds that you need to plant in this world. That's how valuable you really are, and that's what you need to focus on, what it is that you're here to do. So I want to mention a couple of women in the Bible that were single, to give you a bit of encouragement. My very first one would be Candace of Ethiopia. Her life story is found in the book of Acts 8:27. What her name speaks for itself. She was the queen of Ethiopia. She was single. She was a queen running a nation. Okay. A purpose, okay? This woman was running a nation. She had treasury. She had people working over. One of the men that was working up under her treasure had an encounter with Philip along the way, and he got saved. And I think that's probably how that word got back over to Ethiopia. Maybe, I have no idea, but it was one of her men. But this is a woman that is running a nation. She's not just she's running a nation. That's how powerful you really are. And that's what God expects us to do, whether you have a man or not. He expects us to be being prosperous and doing things with our time. You also have the Queen of Sheba, another black nation. These are queens. These are black queens. You already know that just by Ethiopia and Queen of Sheba. Queen of Sheba, I loved her because Queen of Sheba was about, she was a woman who admired wisdom, because she was running a kingdom as well. And so she was the one who went to go visit Solomon, and because she had heard about Solomon, had all this wisdom and everything. So she figured, I'm just going to go over and ask him some hard questions or whatever. Yeah, right. Those are like 1 + 1 to him. But anyway, as he was the wisest man at that time. So, so she, I love the fact that she decided to walk away from her, just leave her kingdom for a while and go visit him, because she wanted to know how to run things. When she got over to his kingdom, she started noticing how he was running his nation, the people, how they responded to him, how, decorum and how everything went. So she went over there to find out how to make her kingdom even stronger. This is a woman that wasn't married. She was too busy thinking about what she had to do as far as keeping her kingdom to herself. I mean, being in charge and how to get it to run smoothly. And she admired wisdom. There are some women that admire wisdom. She was one of those people that I liked. I like the story of Queen of Sheba can also be found in 1 Kings, 2 Chronicles, and also she's mentioned in the book of Matthew 12. I also like Rahab. We already know Rahab. For those who are familiar with the Bible, Rahab was a harlot. Harlot was, what you probably call it, the hoe nowadays. But the thing I liked about her is when the spies came to spy out the land, she was like, well, what's in it for me? Just, that mindset, what's in it for me? But the bottom line was she was thinking generational. She was not married at that time. She got married later. But at that time, she was single. I think she must have lived with her family, her father, because she mentioned her father, her mother, and I think she had some brothers and sisters or whatever. So she was more thinking generationally. So the angels had told her, well, since you helped us out and everything, to put some type of, I don't know, scarf or something on the side, so when we come back, we'll know who you are. We just, we ain't gonna kill you up. Everybody else gonna get it, but you and your family's gonna be safe. So in the end, she ended up getting married to Boaz. I mean, he was paid and everything. But I love that story right there, because even though she was walking, she was a carnal woman, she still had generational blessings for her family on her mind. And I love that. Doesn't matter what your walk is what you do at that time. And because of that, her generations were blessed. I also like, and that's in the book of Joshua. I like the story of Lydia as well. Lydia is found in the book of Acts. Lydia was a businesswoman. It mentioned something about she was a seller of purple. So I'm assuming that, she sold clothes or she sold some type of dyes or something like that, but she had a couple of dollars because she ended up having a house because when Paul would come to town, Paul and his entourage, she had allowed them to stay in her house. Now, you already know, first of all, if Paul has an entourage, it's not just him and somebody else. It's probably maybe about 3 or 4, 10 people, whatever. This house had to be big enough for that. So that's another thing what I'm speaking about. She was a businesswoman, that she also had a good heart. She was a woman of God, and she allowed him to stay in her house whenever he was passing through, and probably other people of God as well. But so in other words, she took her house and she used it as and not God only knows what else she did with the money that she was making, but she took her house and she used it for God's kingdom. And I love that. I love that story of her. My favorite of all would be Tabitha. Her name was also Dorcas. Tabitha was a dressmaker. It said that she made tunics, she made clothes, also for people, for women, or I guess women and men. She would make tunics, whatever how you pronounce it, tunics for them, clothing for them. So I don't think she was charging them. So that she was doing that out of the kindness of her heart. It also mentioned that she was a very generous woman. She was did a lot of charitable deeds. So this is another woman that was single. And in her singleness, she decided, you know what, I have this gift of I can sew. I'm a seamstress. So she would make clothes. That's probably how she paid her bills and everything. But then she would also take her money and she would make clothes and, for other people as well, that she didn't even, for the elderly, that she didn't even charge them for. And then she had passed away, and I think it was Peter that came and laid hands on her and revived her. But it was right before that. A lot of people was saying how nice she was. She was a generous woman and what all the things she had done for them. And I love that because instead of her out chasing men and feeling like I have to be in a relationship, she was taking her time when it's planning to help other people, being available to other people. And helping them in their time of need as well. I love that personality. She was not sitting right here, if I don't have a man, I'm going to die. No, she was thinking about what can I do while I'm here on this planet and who can I help. I love that heart. You also have Martha and Mary. Those are Lazarus' sisters. Lazarus is the one that passed away. Lazarus come forth. That Lazarus. He had 2 sisters. One was Martha and one was Mary. They both were single. Martha was more about hospitality, so she would probably be good if you was having an event or something like that. She could be a very good coordinator. And then you would have Mary. Mary was a type that she was more of a godly woman in a sense where when Jesus come to town, she's sitting at his feet trying to lap up all the information she can get. The other one's like, I'm in there cooking and slaving and she won't help me. What Jesus was like, she chose the best part. But the bottom line is both of those women were single. They didn't say anything about they were out chasing men or whatever. They were out. They were being themselves. One was a woman of God, wanted to soak up as much knowledge as she can with Jesus, and the other one, she was more of a housekeeper type personality. You also have Ruth and Naomi. I always get those two mixed up. We'll skip over that one in a minute because I always get those two mixed up. But anyway, another favorite of mine is Anna the prophetess. Anna's life and story is found in the book of Luke. And so Anna, when she was young, she was married. I think it was about 7 years. I don't know how old she was, but she was married for like 7 years, and her husband passed away. She was probably in her early 20s, and her husband passed away. She decided for the rest of her life she was going to remain single. So she stayed in the missionary. She in other words, like she worked in a church. That's what she pretty much lived there, and she worked there. And it said that she was blessing people and praying on behalf of other people or what have you. I love this story because after her husband passed, most women would have been out there looking for somebody else, whatever. She decided, no, I'm going to stay single for the rest of my life. I'm going to dedicate myself to the things of God, and that's exactly what she did. And I think, but I calculated, I think she was about 80 something years of this woman being single. And I love these stories because you really don't hear these, especially when you're in church. You don't hear stories like this. They're not promoting celibacy. or whatever. This woman was after she got married, after her husband passed, she stayed a widow and she decided, I'm going to be celibate. I was not, chasing men and all this. And I love this because this is showing you that whether or not you have a man or not, you still have a purpose. You still have value. And you're still gonna have to go before God and explain what you did with your time on this planet. One of the last people I wanted to mention was the Pharaoh's daughter. We all know the story of Moses. When Moses was born, there was a decree to kill up the baby, because they was thinking it was Jesus was coming, was gonna kill him up or whatever. So Moses, there was a decree to kill off the baby. So his mother put him on the water. Pharaoh's sister had found, I said Pharaoh's daughter. I don't know if it was a daughter, sister, it was a female. I got Pharaoh's daughter. But if it's Pharaoh's daughter, she found him on the water and she raised him as her own kid. That'll show you right there. He was black. It was a Pharaoh was black. But you can tell you Moses was black too. But she found him on the water and she raised him. She was single. She didn't raise him. It never mentioned anything about her having a husband and they raised them together, because the husband would be like, where did this baby come from? So she probably just, stayed away from her brother for a while. Said she, right through it. I don't know what it was she said, but it was some reason it was okay for her to raise him, but it never mentioned that there was a man involved. These are just a few that I wanted to, okay, I forgot Naomi, Ruth. Naomi was the mother-in-law, and Ruth was the daughter-in-law. So Naomi's husband had passed away. They had left their hometown. They went to I think it was Moab, but it went someplace else. And so Naomi's sons had married some women from Moab. Naomi's husband had passed away, so she was single, and eventually her two sons had passed away. So she told her daughter-in-law, she had two of them, she told her daughter-in-law, you know what, you guys need to go back to your family. You're still young. You can probably get remarried and have some kids or what have you, but I'm old and blah, blah, blah. So it was Ruth who was like, no, I'm not leaving you. The other one, she was like, well, no, maybe I should do that. So she eventually went back, and there's nothing wrong with that. She was young. She wanted to get married. Ruth was like, no, wherever you go, I'm going. Your God's going to be my God. Your people are going to be my people. She was knitted to her in heart. And I love that because she had the opportunity to go back and I'm going to go, yeah, I feel you, but I'm young. I'm going to go find a man. You figure out how you're going to get home on your own. But she was knitted to her and she stuck to her like glue. So what happened is when they finally went back to Naomi's hometown, Naomi wanted her to be married. So she connected her with one of her relatives, and good man, got money, have money and everything else, so she came out on top anyway. But the point I want to make with these is I want to show you biblically there was women, and it's like the same thing now. There was women that were single. We society will make you think, if you're single, you're some kind of outcast, you're some type of, nobody loves you, something is wrong with you. But that's not the case. These were everyday women who had things going on in their lives. Like I said, Ruth and Naomi was really actually one of my favorites because she could have walked away at any given time. She's like, no, I'm knitted to you in heart. So wherever you go, I'm going. Your God gonna be my God. Your people gonna be my people. That's some serious love. As far as the relationship that she felt towards her mother-in-law. But I'm going to end this because it's going to, a little longer than I thought. But I just wanted to encourage women. Please understand, you have so much more value. When you go before God, He's not going to ask you, were you married? He's not going to concern yourself with that. You cannot allow yourself to get caught up when men are telling you, making fun, well, you're not married and blah, blah, blah. Well, there's a reason why. Most of them they're damaged. They're dead, they're damaged, whatever the case may be. You don't have those options. So a lot of you are going to, like I said, are going to other nationalities and whatever. That's fine. A man is a man. You're going to get, in chances are you're probably going to get treated a lot better anyway. So I appreciate that as well. But for those who have chosen to be single, or those that are in relationships and you're afraid to walk away because of the controversy or somebody going to say something, please understand, your life is more important than whether or not you have a man on your side. Because honestly, if you are a black woman dealing with a black man, you're probably going to be the most mature one in the family anyway. So if you did walk away from that relationship or whatever, you're definitely going to be okay. This is what we do. You're going to be okay. Don't feel as though you have to be in any old type of relationship, putting up with all kind of drama, chaos, fighting, and all this other kind of stuff. Because what would happen if you didn't have a man? My scenario, how I feel, how I look in life, I can do good all by myself. Okay, some people I can do bad. No, I can't do bad, but I can do good all by myself because I know how to get up and hit the alarm clock. I know how to do a lot of things. So I'm not putting all of my eggs in that one basket. Like if I don't have one, oh my God, I'm less than a woman. No, I have more time to do more things. And when God calls me home, He's gonna, what did you do with that time? He's not going to ask you, well, how come you didn't get married? Did nobody love you? No, there's plenty of people that love you. You got friends, you got family, you got associates, and you have new people in the world that's waiting to help you, to be by your side, to be friends with you, to help adjust your life for you. You have all of this waiting. And I feel so bad when I think about women that are in these damaged relationships and putting up with all of the fighting and the arguing and the cussing and the low self-esteem. We're putting up with all of that because you're too afraid to be by yourself. You are a black woman. You are a Negro woman. You are the first one on the planet. You are first lady. You have it within you to stand. If you have to stand, you have it within you to do that. But if you're going to stand, if you're going to be single, do something productive with that time, because you will have to give an account for that. So, like I said, this is going to be the end of the video, and I hope this is encouraging to someone. It's not, like I said, this is not to bash men. I'm not here to do the whole gender war. I'm not even on that page because I pray against those things because I understand the spiritual ramifications of what's taking place. But I'm just allowing women to understand it's time for you to maybe come up out of rotation because there's not too much going on out there. There's men don't want to be men. They want to be with other men. They're not even really into women anymore. So that's a whole nother category of men that you won't get. So you need to focus your time on doing more productive things, making new friends, going places, getting in touch with your gifts and talents, pulling yourself together. If you have children, raise your children with legacy in mind. If you don't have children, keep your legs closed because you already see what the outcome is going to be, and find something else to do with your life. You have so much value. You have so many gifts and talents that you have to discover. You have so many beautiful people to meet, so many nice places to eat, so many expensive places to visit. I mean, spas. I mean, so many things you can do with your time besides in a dead end relationship, fighting, fussing, cussing, and getting nowhere. And at the end of it, you might not even make it out alive because that's happening a lot. And I wanted to address this to let women know it's time for you to walk off. It's time for a lot of you to walk away and pull yourself together because God is not going to come to you and ask you when you go before him, why was you with that same man? Why was you putting up with that? Why did you treat yourself as though I didn't create you? Why did you treat yourself as if Satan created you with no value? You have too much value. You have too much hope. You have too much going for yourself. Too many things you have yet to even discover by yourself. This is going to be a nice journey. And a lot of women, you need to give yourself this gift. Okay. That's the end of the video. I'll see you again next time. Like I said, be productive in your singleness. I know I try to be. Have a good one, boos. Bye.